Hey everybody, listen to the Combo Wombo podcast. I'm Chip Monk, and with me as always is the Gimp, Mr. Gimp.
What's going on, Chip? How's it going, brother?
I'm just chilling, living, taking it easy. I've been trying to get this exercise in now. We'll see how it goes.
Just post-pandemic, or just since your
Yeah,
exercise
they
room is open now?
finally, yeah, the exercise room's open now, and I'm like, all right, I should try and lose some weight here. I started dieting during all the pandemic.
Yeah.
I was doing like intermittent fasting. I've still been doing that, but I got those farmer genetics. So like my body just adapts instantly to like whatever I'm doing. So I had
Okay.
like
Okay.
4 months of like, really good, like where I lost like 20 pounds doing that. And then my bio was just like, nah, we're good now.
It's
And
like
it's been
it's like this is
yeah,
this is it. This is
yeah,
we good, buddy. We good.
yeah. So it's been like a year and I've just been doing that. And I've just been staying around the same weight.
Okay.
Like nobody believes me. Like when I'm telling them their calorie intake, they're like, "Nah, that's impossible. You should be losing tons of weight." I'm like, "I fucking know." They're like, "Don't you feel like shit?" I'm like, "Yeah, every day, it feels terrible." Uh, they're like, "Do you have energy?" I'm like, "I have no energy." They all lie. It's all bullshit. All the hype where they're like, "You're gonna have more energy than ever. You'll be as virile as 10 young bulls, man." Like none of that's true.
That's only if you just drink bull testosterone, though. Like
Yeah.
that's the only time you get that. That's dope,
Hitting
though,
that
man.
tiger liver and bull
What
testicles.
so what have you been doing to exercise? Like weights
Just
or
simple.
cardio or
Just cardio. I've been just walking for an hour.
okay.
Because it's really all my body needs. Because like I sit at my office and I sit when I'm at home.
Yeah.
You gotta move. You gotta do something. That's why my body just turned into a giant storage locker. So I just go for like an hour walk on the treadmill.
Yeah,
I've
man.
been doing like 20 minutes a lightweight, like 15, 10 pounders. It's all you need.
Right,
Uh,
right.
as long as like they're good targeted muscle exercises where you're like contracting and pulling like those muscles to move the weights. Like I think that's why a lot of people frown on like smaller weights because they just get used to lifting wrong.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit just all the controversial statements early
Right,
on.
right, right, right,
Like you're
right.
probably lifting wrong. Like if you're not feeling the muscles contracting and pulling that you're targeting,
Yeah.
you're lifting too much weight. And you're incorporating like secondary and third muscles to move the weight. And you're still getting benefit from it, but it's the same benefit you would get if you just use lesser weight in proper form.
Okay. Okay. There's gonna be a bunch of workout people who are like listening to you and just chiming in going, this motherfucker's wrong.
Bro, the most controversial statement you can say for working out is to keep a journal and then do what works for you best. It's
The
like
most controversial.
people lose their fucking minds, dude. I'm like, just use the scientific method. Like, come up with a hypothesis on like what's gonna work best for you, like what weights, what sets, what forms, and uh keep track of that and like see like get a tape measure and like some calipers and like measure the benefits that you're getting. Look in the mirror and like how you feeling, all that. And whatever works best, just keep doing that because everybody's different. And then dude, people will lose their fucking minds, dude. They're like, no, 4x4s are the fucking only way to gain muscle mass. Like, it is nuts, dude. I started like a whole form thread war at one point on like I think it's like bodybuilders.com.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was great. So yeah,
Nice.
that's
Nice.
one of the most controversial statements to say is that like everybody's different. Like keep track of things and like whatever works best for you. Like
Hey, man.
double down on that. Like
Hey, on your weight loss journey, that's awesome. You're doing it. Now is my time to interject and say, get VR, man. Play some pistol whip. Play some. I mean,
start moving.
it's fun. It's fun cardio. I would say like
Doesn't like the thing get all sweaty? Will I get pink eye from it?
first episode shout. I mean, yeah, but it's your headset, and also you can buy a different like VR face cover as well.
Do they have like rubber ones for
They
working
do.
out or like
They do. They do.
because I'm sweaty. I'm a sweaty individual.
I will say the most tired I've been playing VR. The two games, Creed, just fighting
You're still
if you
doing
like.
that? Because there's for like a time you're like taking on all challengers from like the friend group. Like,
The friend group bailed, dude. They're like, I'm
yeah,
starting to get my ass kicked.
like this is
I'm
too much
basically
work.
fucking, I'm fucking Apollo Creed myself compared to
All
the
right.
friend group right now, man.
This is why
But,
you're trying to pull me in so you can whip my ass too.
see,
Like, this is-
I'm just trying. Here's the thing. I'm just trying to get more people to play VR, man. But I will say, like Creed for sure, and Pistol Whip. Pistol Whip, man. You're doing so many crouches and shit. You have to dodge every bullet coming at you, and you're like spinning around, shooting people. You're John Wicking everyone, and it's like a bunch of squats and stuff just because you're dipping and dodging. It's intense, man. Like,
Are the Oculuses still available? Like the
yes,
standalone free
yep,
ones?
yep,
I might
yep. They're
I might do that because they're like only like
they're
100, $200, 300.
three, yeah.
We're just putting out this information here. This
It's
is
three.
however much, 300.
It's three, yeah.
All right. Yeah,
You-
maybe I have to look into getting one of those because
yeah,
that fits my lifestyle the best. Like I don't want any more cords. I don't want to run anything from this computer over there, even though I have like the hole in the wall here for it.
yeah, yeah. I was just
Like,
about to say, this man is wired for it, but yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It's well, we'll go over it. We'll go over it if you do decide. But yeah, it's one of those things where you don't have to depend on like your workout area, or if you don't want to like go outside and run, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's and I for me to get like cardio before I started like running outside and stuff, gamifying things makes me do it more. Like
yeah,
like I don't do well working out just to work out, but if I'm playing like a sport, I would do that every day. You know, I
yeah.
need
I
some
mean, they
sort
have like
of
all those apps and stuff where they'll track like your progress, and there's like ones that turn like what you do like for cardio into like an RPG.
yeah,
They got ones that are like audiobooks, so it pretends like there's a zombie or like you're
yeah.
trying to
There's a
solve a mystery and like you hit
zombie
different.
run is one that
Yeah,
really worked. Yeah, that one was fun. But yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So any updates on the gaming front at all? Like no, I mean, and by
uh,
gaming front I mean the game you're creating.
nothing so far. I might buy some assets to help with the animations because I ran to like a dead end there where like the root animation didn't want to apply to like the boss that I was doing.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what could solve this problem? Money. So I was like, I could get about this animation pack for like $15, and I was gonna mess around a little bit with that, I think today,
Okay.
depending on how things go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's on my agenda today is like get my cardio in, mess around with this game, and then do laundry. Like and probably take out some trash. I got a ton of cans stacked here. I sent a picture of my desktop setup to the boys, and they're like, "Bro, what's with all these cans everywhere?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, that's just from today because I've been doing like canned water, uh,
Oh yeah.
and
Okay.
like I could sip down these things like so fast where I drink like 3 or 4 of them a day, easy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm
Hey.
part of that water cult, but it's more of a group of friends that believe in hydration and getting
So you're
getting
deep
proper
into the
amounts.
cult then. You're deep in.
Yeah,
You're deep in. It's like, yeah, it's,
absolutely.
it's a group of friends stacked in this perfect, upside
Yeah,
down triangle. It's like the pyramid shape or whatever. Just
that's right. It flows downward
it's,
like water, dude. Like all
yeah,
things.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah, for sure, for sure.
what have you been up to, man?
Hey man, so over the weekend, I was in the Back for Blood beta. Ended up streaming that last night after the fights. At time of recording, and Back for Blood is made by the original developers of Left 4 Dead. So the story with Left
Yeah.
4 Dead is Turtle Rock Studios was creating this. It was going to be published by, I want to say Vivendi back then, but I maybe it was always Valve. But anyway, Turtle Rock got bought by Valve when Valve saw the progress they were making with Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead 1 came out and did gangbusters. It was a straight banger of a game.
Yeah.
And then with Left 4 Dead 2's development, Valve completely absorbed Turtle Rock, and Left 4 Dead 2 was Valve created. There's such a weird amalgam of people who worked on Left 4 Dead 2. Turtle Rock, midway through development, or maybe it was right before, bought themselves back. So they
Okay.
didn't like what like the Valve, like they're still friends with Valve. This is the worst part. They have a good company working relationship with it, but they just didn't like how the company structure was versus being independent. So they bought
Yeah.
themselves back, and worked on their next game, which was Evolve. Evolve did not do well.
Is it Arc Evolve?
Yeah, no. Arc is a separate game. Evolve was a one of it's not
It was
the
trying to
first,
be
but it's
like
one of the first asymmetrical multiplayer games for V1. So you had one person being a giant monster on a
is
level.
like chase or be chased, and they're like trying to make it like a competitive scene.
There's a competitive,
They're like,
yes,
this is gonna be
yes.
the next big esport, and the game hadn't launched yet.
Yep, yep. That's
Yeah,
exactly true. So there are a huge cult of not only water enthusiasts but Evolve fans.
yeah.
Evolve tried to come back with a free to play release, and I forget what it was actually called. It's like Evolve Second or something, and just to breathe new life into the game, and it just didn't work. And I will say, maybe I'll go out to a different pod of games that were hyped before release and for whatever reason didn't work. Evolve
I
was
mean,
one of
there's
those games where they didn't nail the asymmetrical feel to make both sides fun. There was a lot of
yeah.
downtime that was boring and on both sides. And being the monster, it was you had to like eat or kill like little mobs while running around the map and not getting your ass ganked by four dudes with guns. And then the four dudes with guns, you needed a very specific meta build to actually capture / kill this monster. So there's definitely some issues, and I
Did they crack the code with like a Friday the 13th? Because I
I
know
would
that
say
game did all right.
Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th came out really close to each other. Very, very similar
They all
gameplay
kind
with
of
different things.
cop the
But
same kind of mechanic.
yes, those two games definitely figured out the asymmetrical 1v4 style of game. Uh,
Yeah,
both did differently, and that's a separate pod. But
yeah.
Turtle Rock went on to do Evolve.
I mean, also
Uh,
had games like The Calling, where they're kind of like the first into that space. It got super popular, and then all the competitors start coming out, and they're like, "Well, we're just going to keep changing things till it's unrecognizable, and then like nobody likes it anymore,
well,
and then we're going to launch it."
The Culling was a BR though. It was a battle
Yeah,
royale, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm
Where
saying like
they
the same principle where
went
they
free to
had
play
lightning
after,
in a
right?
bottle. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the Culling is a great. Uh, there's a great story there to how shitty that game's development cycle went. So, like I said, that's a different
yeah.
pod. But
That was just a small group of enthusiasts, and they got in over their heads.
yeah. So then here's what happened. So fast forward a little bit, and Valve, who notoriously cannot count to three,
Yeah,
Half-Life 1, 2, and then Alex, like 20 years later. Let's see, Left 4
we
Dead
didn't even
1,
finish like
2,
the downloadable content for Half-Life 2. They're like, we're gonna do
Half-Life
chapters.
Half-Life episode 1 and 2, yeah. Half-Life 2 episode
Yeah,
1 and 2, yep. Um, let's see what else. Portal 1 and 2, Valve can't count to three. So Turtle Rock was very disappointed in this. So they were all like, can we make Left 4 Dead 3? Valve says no. They're like, okay, cool. They just work on Back 4 Blood. Back 4
yeah.
Blood is what Left 4 Dead 3 it is Left 4 Dead 3 at this point. They introduced this card mechanic that adds like a roguelike element to the game that I was very wary on first because Evolve had some player card traits and stuff that did not work at all.
Yeah.
But the cards in Back 4 Blood work. The campaign portion was very fun. I found the gunplay very fun. The movement mechanics in Back 4 Blood upgrades what Left 4 Dead was. So that game, I had a great
It's a
time streaming it the
spiritual
night before.
successor.
Yes, it's definitely a spiritual successor.
The
And
so
the character
is that the
archetypes are the
game?
same too.
Yeah. Didn't they go a little bit more like crazy with like the character archetypes? Like I remember there being like a controversy about that, where everyone's kind of like a hipster asshole. Uh,
They are, but are like its general design, yeah. But once you like the voice lines and stuff are very Left 4 Dead-ish
there
with more swearing. It's more like adult humor. Like I feel Left 4
oh,
Dead while it was
they cussing,
rated
yo,
M,
they
uh,
cussing.
you could put those characters in like a PG-13 environment and they wouldn't feel any different. So
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's good. And then the infected in Back for Blood are called the Ridden, which I do not like the name. I think it's dumb. Uh, and
How come
they're not
everybody is like zombie copy, like trademarked or some shit? Like everybody comes up with like some fucking bullshit
because
name
it's
for
a
zombies
because you
because you can.
with zombies being so common, you don't want to introduce a lawsuit, right?
Yeah.
So even the infected, like the Left 4 Dead, just called the zombies infected.
Well, it's
Um,
like even like a lot of the older books and stuff that have entered like the public domain, people will change up just enough where you're like, this is
yep,
my hot take on not Dracula or not
exactly,
Frankenstein.
exactly.
This is not
So
zombies,
20
zombies.
28 days later really solidified that as something that's viable. But 28 days later, the rage virus was, you know, it was they were zombies in form, but it was so completely different
Dude,
at the
if
same
like
time.
a rage virus came out, with fuck, dude. Like everybody's so out of shape, dude. I'm like struggling walking an hour, bro. I couldn't imagine trying to run my ass off for like any amount of time. Like I'm getting like a block and like fuck it,
Right,
this is
right,
over.
fucking up dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. But yeah,
In
back for
America, bro, in America, America's wiped out in the first 24
it's
hours. Like,
true, true. There's so Back for Blood is what I was playing very recently, and it was very fun. As far as everything else, the Valorant climb has been happening. I started ranked, got bronze 1, so like below average, but whatever. I'm learning the game, so
I've been
I
trying to talk everybody into playing Valorant with you,
we
all the
should,
boys.
yeah. I'm just gonna
They're all like, it's too try hard. I don't know.
I'm just gonna pull out the bat signal because I consistently have like a spot available.
Everybody was
So
like hard against that, but then they're like, maybe we should all download Lineage too.
be
And
the
I
most
was
try
like, what
hard
the
MMO.
fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's all right. I mean, I'll send out the bat signal and see, but yeah, no, like Valorant's been clicking a lot more, and then introducing ranked has definitely forced me to learn the maps proper play and things like that. So it's like I said, it's been fun. I'm happy to be ranked and be able to
What type
climb.
of player are you? Are you like aggressive? You sniper? What are you doing?
Uh, Very similar to what I did in CS:GO. I don't know
Lob
that
grenades and
the
pray.
I don't know the terms for Valorant, but like I said before, I was an entry fragger in CS:GO, so I was first in, get a kill, and then try and take a point. So I'm still working on. I'm still taking that point at this point. I'm favoring the characters Breach and Phoenix now. I started with Brimstone just because he has like a clouds that he can put down to block vision, and then a beam that comes from the sky to kill people. But I've been liking Breach for who has like a tremor move that can stun people onto the site and then kill. And Phoenix, his flashbang type move has been very effective, and I've been
Yeah.
enjoying that. Phoenix is a duelist, and so I'm guessing I typically will play duelist who's focused on like the one-on-one fights, things like that. The next
Yeah.
character I'm gonna try is Omen, another
I found like
duelist.
that whole game is just really an exercise of patience. Like
Yeah,
even like if you're like breaching or like guarding, like you just like if you
yeah,
can just wait a little bit longer than
yes.
everybody else, everybody gets anxious, especially like in lower ranks, and they just start like
hmm
running around like chickens without heads on. And
Patience is 100% true, and I'm a Sonic player from way back, so I have none. So it's
yeah,
learning patience. So yeah,
yeah, like
but Valorant's been fun. So there is a
like
huge
nothing is
development.
more frustrating than like running in, like taking point, and like you
hmm
go in, you like you get like a double kill or some shit, and like you look back and like none of your team is left like the corner. They're just like sitting back, and you're like, what the fuck are they doing? Like this was the moment. Like somebody had to take the point in charge. Were we all just gonna wait at this fucking door the whole game? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Oh man, true. But yeah, no, it's been fun, man. It's been fun. So I do have a huge.
Do you
Go
do
ahead.
mics in that? Do you do comms? Do you talk with the randos?
Yes, it's 100%.
All right.
Not every rando will talk, but there's in-game voice lines that people will do. I come from a long line of FPS comms. Like people will be shitty, people won't be shitty. You live with it. For the most
Yeah.
part, Valorant, like there's a lot of children who play. And some of them are the 12-year-old kids who are consistently fucking my mom, but but most part, it's actually been fine. There's actually been more. I've had more like younger kids who have been cool to play with, and women as well. There's been a huge because I
Have you got
rarely
anybody that freaks out when a girl gets in the comms?
no. That's
Okay.
been the best part, but
That happened
also
to be like
like
in Overwatch where like I was playing a game and like some girl gaming and like also like some like little kid was like, "Is this a girl?" Like on the
yeah
comms.
yeah.
And I was like, "No, bro, it's my friend. He's a voice changer on. Let's just focus on the game, bro. Focus
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
game. Like
I will
stop
say
trying to pick
this.
up e-girls."
Yeah, yeah. There, like no one cares so far that I've
Yeah.
played. No one cared that there was a female playing, and I thought that was amazing. Because I mean, like there's this huge like subculture of internet jackasses who are like, oh, there's a girl, fucking quit. I'm like, they all play games, man. Like I played like
Yeah.
through, I played tournaments in Halo with my sister. You know, like people, like just like there's
Yeah.
this
Like
stupid
it's
like
weird.
boys club that exists, but I'm
I
glad.
think it's just because the comms are always so toxic, and it's like
Yeah,
usually like some raging dude. Like
yeah,
it's never. Like, I mean, I've seen like some YouTube clips where it is like a bunch of like a raging chick on there like losing their mind, but like I would
yeah.
say that's like the exception, not the
But
like. If you're
right,
gonna roll the dice, if I had to like put money on him, like it's probably some raging dude. Like,
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no. But the games I've been playing like Valorant thing, and there's and there's some other things that I will talk about very soon here. But I've noticed, especially in voice chat, you know, because I'm sure uh, women in games has been a thing forever. But as far as in voice chat, I know a lot, at least the ones that I know personally in life, weren't comfortable voice chatted because of the stupid like e-boy gamer rage. But it's
yeah,
becoming non-existent.
yeah,
In almost every game I've been playing now online, there has been a healthy mix of genders, and everyone's been, you know, outside of being a dick in game, they've all been. It's been contained in games, so I think maybe the next generation are a lot better at welcoming people than in years past. So you know, applause to the next gen. Speaking of
yeah.
next gen, I have big news, man.
The biggest news.
The biggest news ever. So there is a little device that I've been trying to get for the past few months. You were also trying to get a device, and
Yeah,
you got the Xbox Series S,
yeah.
which which
I'm
was
settling for standard, dude.
yeah, yeah. Will you upgrade to the X if they're available?
No, it's too much work.
Okay,
I'm far
okay,
too lazy. Like
okay.
I would either have to like sell or trade in my S
Yep,
on like secondhand, and I'm like, I'm not. It's not
I get
worth
it.
it, and I'm
Okay,
not going to buy like two. I guess I could give away the S to like my nephews or something because they'll probably be a little bit older here, like in a
yeah,
year. But
yeah.
I don't know.
I get it. I
Then I'd
get
have
it.
to go through, wipe all like the developer stuff on there, and
Yeah, yeah.
change all my info.
You live, you learn. I mean, we'll see.
I
So
mean,
I'm
like I'm a it's circumstance, right? Like I got what it was available. Like I kept my eye out for like a month
yeah,
looking for an X, and like the opportunity just never presented itself. And I'm like, I could have nothing and wait for like a few more months and like hope, or I could just pick up an S today.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
and I'm like, I'll get an S.
I get you. I get you.
Like
No,
having said that, kind of like you brought up the point before where you're like, oh, with everything being on Game Pass now and that being on the PC, do you have like a little bit of regret?
yeah,
And like now I'm starting to be like, yeah, I probably should just got the Game Pass instead because like everything's been delayed like in until 2022 for like a lot of games. A lot of stuff's not coming out
yeah.
till December. Like so
Oh, I was in the Halo Infinite first technical test, and I am loving what I saw. I'll focus on that in a different pod. I was saving that because that's a full pod
does it look
of
beautiful?
issues.
Does it look gorgeous?
It looks really good, but the gameplay seems like the natural evolution from Halo 3 that it should have been instead of the Halo 4 and 5 that we got.
Yeah.
And Reach was Bungie's last effort, and I'm counting Reach as a separate like thing, but
Yeah. It felt like 4 and 5, they're trying to be more like Call of Duty. And it
4
just
especially. 5 was kind of its own thing, but yeah, yeah. We'll get into that later.
yeah.
So I managed to get one of these bad boys, and for those of you on
Is that a
audio,
boomerang?
I'm holding up the PlayStation 5 controller. I
This
managed
man
to
just
get
bought a controller, bro.
I managed to get a PS5
You're a fake gamer girl, bro.
over the past week, and I've mentioned on the pod before my struggle with finding the PlayStation. Um, so one day I couldn't sleep, like I couldn't stay asleep, right? Like I ate way too much spicy food the night before, so I was up. My stomach was killing me. So
Yeah.
I'm like, well, shit. I work in like 3 hours, so I might as well just stay up because my stomach's killing me. So I'm sitting there and I'm browsing the internet and browsing the Twitter. All of a sudden it pops up, PlayStation's
Got a
available at
sweaty
Target.
forehead, a sweaty butthole, dude. He's like,
Exactly. Everything was
his
sweating.
fingers are tingling.
Everything was dripping.
Knees is weak.
So, it goes, PlayStation's available at Target, and I'm like, I might as well try. I've been trying forever, so I haven't been up this early for it.
Yeah.
Click it. I click it. I see it. I see in stock at the one of the Targets near me. I had to click around because there's two right up, like it's probably 2 miles apart from each other, and the one closer to me was already sold. I'm like, well, fuck, okay. So I clicked the other one, and it said in stock. I'm like, oh shit. It's like, my wife shops at Target all the fucking time, so we're already signed in.
Yeah.
So I click add to cart, and it looks like it freezes, but I still see it's working. It said due to high volume, you try again. So I clicked it again, and the page refreshed right away. And I look up at my cart, the PlayStation 5 was in there. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean I have it. I mean, this is step one, but everyone else is like clicking shit as fast as possible. So I go to buy it. I make sure my card information is in there, and I click buy. It doesn't work. It just literally doesn't work. It hangs. I click buy again. Doesn't work. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I was like, well, I've never been this close before. So I'm like clicking buy. I'm letting it load. I'm clicking buy. I'm being patient with it. I'm not just spamming. And the fourth time I clicked it, it pops in and it goes, your purchase is being prepared. And I'm sitting there just dumbfounded, like blank face at the screen, going, I just got it. I just got a PS5, right? And I'm like waiting for it to email me going, sorry, that was a mistake, right? I get it. And then I'm looking in the Target app, like a half hour later, the Target app, it goes, your order is ready for pickup. Please bring an ID and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh shit, I got a PS5. So I'm like scrambling because I've said on the pod, I need 2 games for for a console for me to purchase it. I got those 2 games.
The killer apps.
Returnal and Ratchet and Clank. And then there are games that I was interested in. I loved the first Spider-Man on the PS4, so I got the Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh shit.
And
I was gonna ask you about that, but I didn't want to like make you feel bad because like you sent me like a picture of like those first 2 games.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm surprised you didn't get like Miles Morales Spider-Man. Like that seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm not going to ask. Like, everybody's different.
Yep. And, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. So I was going to get the game anyway, but I felt because Miles Morales was also on the PS4 that it was, if I had to wait, I could have just bought it on the PS4, right? But definitely glad I got the PS5 edition. I'll go into that in a second. And then there's one little game that has a lot of fans. That was a PS3 exclusive that had a little remake. Demon Souls, baby.
So you got Demon Souls?
I got Demon Souls.
I've just never been a fan of that gameplay.
Got it. I understand. It's like, definitely
that
not
one's
for
also
everyone.
Focused on patience. Like,
when you first play it, this will be another playthrough for me, so I'm gonna go hard in the paint. The last time I played Demon Souls on the PS3, I did a full playthrough on stream as a thief, and that was tough, but I did it. So I'm just gonna go full Chad mode and just pick like a royal knight and just slaughter people. So I'm excited. So yeah, man, I copped the PlayStation 5.
The full one or the digital only?
It's the full one. It's the full one. The full one with discs. Because I wouldn't be able to put these discs in if it was digital only. So I will say, before I get into the nitty gritty, the big thing for me, as I've said previously, is at the point I did not have a 4K Blu-ray player. The Xbox One, I had the OG Xbox One. The PlayStation 4, I had the PlayStation 4 Slim. Neither supported 4K discs.
You have 4K disc?
Yeah, I do. I
All
do.
right.
Mad Max, Alita Battle Angel, and the collection is now growing.
We were just going through this because my mom needed a new TV,
Yeah.
and like me and the professor were like sitting there looking at TVs, and we're like, "What's the difference between these two?" And I was like, "Oh, this one plays like the high definition disc better, and this one doesn't." And then my bro looks at me and goes, "Does mom even have a high definition Blu-ray disc player?" I'm like, "Yeah, I bought her one." And he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
There you go. There you
He's like,
go.
"But does she own any Blu-rays?" I'm like, I don't think so, that are, like, high def," and it's like, "No, I think she just gets all the basic ones."
But now she could just get it and not
She
worry
has
about
the
it. So
options, yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what you want.
yeah.
Uh,
So I will be getting the Xbox Series X as well. That's my next purchase. I'm
yeah,
going for the disc one. The backwards compatibility is huge. The development mode is huge, and while I will be using the PS5 right now for 4K play, the Series X has Atmos exclusivity still, and I have an Atmos sound system, so I would love to. I want to experience everything. So that's the big
yeah.
boon for me for the Xbox Series X. Yes, I can get all the games on PC, but
PC's got Atmos, bro.
it does. But it's not. It's not.
You'd have to buy another surround
Yeah,
sound system
yeah.
for
It's
your
not. It's not
basement
like physically viable, for me,
for now.
and my setup for now. Yeah, and like HDR because I don't have an HDR monitor for I run 1440p 2K on my PC. So the Series X, I'll be running, 4K HDR, all that fun stuff, Atmos. So the Series X, I don't think is a bad purchase either for someone like me.
Yeah.
And as I've said before, I love movies. I love things like that, and I like movies in the highest possible quality that I can get it. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, man, I got the PS5. That's
Alright, let
so
me run
fucking
it
exciting.
down. Let me run it down. I
Let's hear
have the
it.
table here. I've been hyped.
All right, all
So
right. We got the
PlayStation
specs.
5. Yeah. CPU, it's got the 8 Zen, 2 cores, 3.5 gigahertz. GPU, it's got the AMD RDNA, 2 GPUs, 36 cores at 2.23 gigahertz. GPU power, the graphics card power, 10.28 to flops, bro. You got the to flops in there. You got RAM, 16 gigabits, GDDR6. Let's see here. Let's say talking about target performance. Storage, it has a number, but the usable, the important is 667.2 gigabits.
Yep.
It's SSD. It says backwards compatibility. The overwhelming majority of more than 4,000 PlayStation 4 games, some PS3 games, and PS2 titles playable on PlayStation Now. 4K UHD Blu-ray, HDMI 2.1, bro.
Yep.
That's the breakdown.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, and then it has the digital only version, and I'm shocked because I'm from the Xbox world
Yes.
right now. The only difference is like it doesn't have that hard drive or the disk drive, the 4K
Yeah.
UHD Blu-ray,
Yeah.
which is mind-boggling me because like the difference between like the S and the X Series Xbox is like fucking substantial.
Well, the Series S is also the cheapest thing you can get for an next gen console as well.
Yeah, but like I don't know. Like personally, I would have rather pay like $100 more. It just don't give me the disk drive and keep all the specs the same. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation Digital is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's like, do you have like a Blu-ray HD collection that you can enjoy on this or not? Do you want to buy like have the ability to buy like used games later on?
Yes. Yes.
Uh, which is, it's a huge factor for a lot of people. Like, and a
Yes,
lot
it
of people
is.
don't have good internet in places still.
Yep.
It was kind of why so many people were upset when like the original Xbox One was launched, and they're like, "Oh, it's not going to have a disc drive." Everyone lost their shit, and they were like, "Just kidding, just kidding." Like we're
Yeah.
putting a disc drive on there.
Yeah. So I will say, so when you were playing the Series S, and the Xbox doesn't truly have a true next gen game yet.
It really doesn't, man.
Did you feel like you were playing the next generation of consoles when you played yours?
I'll say yes, but only because of the SSD. Like the loading times, like I think a lot of people who don't know any better will be like, "Oh, it must be everything else that's improved so much." SSDs are fucking like traumatic. Like if you go from like a
Yeah.
normal hard drive to a solid state, you'll be like, "Holy shit, it's like my entire computer boots up in a fraction of a second
Yep.
literally now instead of like, 40, 50 seconds." So,
Yes.
I think it mostly that feel where like you'll load things up. Like I said, like everything on there's like buttery smooth until it crashes, and it has crashed on me quite a few times.
Okay.
Uh, where like you'd be like, I'll be like, oh, let me sit down and play like some Celeste because I can only like handle like a stage or two at a time. And like I'll
Sure.
just like click the button and I'm in the game right away.
Yep.
There's no like latency. It's not like, all right, now loading, hold up, give me a moment. It's just
Yep.
like, and then like when I want to kick out of it back to the front end, it's super fast. And I'm like, all right, I'll put on like a TV show on here, and
Yeah.
it all
Yeah.
works, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Uh,
it does feel next gen just because of the speed of
yeah.
how everything feels. Everything's very responsive. I hate that it makes you give all the information when you sign up for an Xbox, but I also enjoy that I can use the app on my phone to download games and stuff like where I'm at work,
Yes.
and be like, all right, start downloading this game for me so I can play it when I get home.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice, and I don't have too much to hide, but it's kind of weird because like I've said that about like the Oculus, where I'm like, I don't want a fucking Facebook account,
Yeah.
like because
Yeah.
I'm gonna get all my information. Whereas
Right.
like Xbox, I'm like, have it all, take it, whatever. Here-
Right. Right. That's
Here's my phone number. Call me up. You got some deals going on? Like, and like Microsoft's probably a horrible, like heartless big corporation too. Like
yeah.
they're also trading on that back end information. Like, right, nothing's free.
Everything is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No. The SSD. You're right. Is incredible. PlayStation has a proprietary hard drive that uses direct storage, which is a huge next gen technology. That the last Windows 10 update actually enabled support for it. Um,
yeah,
Direct storage is basically instant loading. SSDs are already super fast, just with how they handle data and the fact that how they store it and access it. Direct storage is faster than that. So PlayStation, when you're in a game, there is no loading time.
yeah,
It's incredible, and people have seen the comparison videos for the PlayStation 4 version of Miles Morales to the PS5 version. Like when you're going inside of a building to outside, in PS4 you load, in PS5 you're in. it's
you're doing
it's a
it.
huge difference. But the true next, like yes, the SSD is a definite next gen feel, and I feel the graphics are at a point now where graphics are always going to look good. Um,
I would say this because of the fast loading, because PlayStation 5's like taking advantage of that and partnered, I think, like on the back end with like the Unreal Engine. I think you're gonna see a lot of scams, like for like, on like the Kickstarters or like the GoFundMe, where they're just like using like whatever it's called, the man, I was using it the other day. Their proprietary stuff where like
mm,
you can like have like the 4K like world scan stuff. So I
yeah,
think you're gonna see true next gen games on PlayStation 5, but you're also gonna see a lot of really good looking scams that
yeah,
people are gonna throw up, and they'll be like, it's kind of like when we had that debate with like the worst games now versus like the best games
yeah.
of the past. I think you're gonna see like a lot of really gorgeous, horrible games like on the
Yes,
PlayStation
I'm
5.
sure. I'm sure you will. The Xbox Series X is also a powerhouse. There's just nothing that uses it yet, but
Yeah,
it's coming. So the true next gen part of the PlayStation isn't anything to do with graphics, horsepower, even the hard drive. The true next gen is actually
it's
this
like
thing.
controller,
It's the controller, dude. So playing Returnal, for
the
example,
boomerang.
the haptic feedback when it's raining in that game, like depending on what part of my character's hitting is what part of the controller vibrates, and it's so subtle too, depending on how hard it's raining. Like it'll
You're
vibrate harder.
suppling
Not
up on that controller, bro.
it's
You're like giving it some like strokes like it's a
it's
cat, bro.
well it's it's incredible. Also my big problem with last gen controllers was the joystick tension.
Yeah,
PlayStation, I will say,
there's like
fixed it.
lawsuits over it.
Yeah, well, no, that's stick drift, but this it's like tension. I felt the
I feel
Xbox
like it's the
One.
same problem, different symptoms.
No, and the Xbox One had looser controls than the Xbox 360. The PlayStation 4 had looser controls than the PS3. Like the thumbsticks were just looser, just because they weren't tightened up as others. Because there's a sect of pro console players who like their controllers loosey goosey, which I do not. I like mine stiff. I want to force it to move. Now
I can pay for those
that
like
that
ridiculous
hard, but
$200 controllers, bro.
yeah, this is truly the most comfortable PlayStation controller I've ever held. In terms of thumbstick, it typically I do not like my thumbs being next to each other for it, but there's enough space here where I've never had the symptom of my thumbs touching. The the elevated rubber where my thumb sits in is perfect. I've never had my thumb slip off like in the PS3, which I bought.
Looks like your thumbs are
separate
playing
caps.
gay chicken.
Yeah, exactly. This this is the most perfect designed PlayStation controller Sony's ever done. But the feedback is incredible. Astro's Playroom is a pack-in game that celebrates the near the 20 years of the 25 years of PlayStation. You go through PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, 3, 4. You collect things, and the game is a ad for the controller. And let me tell you, it is the best showcase since of the console's abilities since the N64 with Super Mario 64. It's incredible. The triggers. It could, like, if you're in a game and your gun jams, they can have it so your trigger cannot move. Like, your gun's jammed, you have to clear that jam. You cannot physically pull the trigger. Returnal uses it so like when you're halfway down, it zooms, but there's like this but it stops you so you zoom and then you like click in and then you're alt firing. It's just like little things like that. And then in like Dirt 5 in a driving game, when you're driving, you feel the difference from driving on different terrain. Like, it's so hard to put, and no reviewer, no video can put it into words how that feels. Including like your tires slipping out from underneath you. You feel it on the controller. I have never played something where the next gen feel outside of VR. VR is what I thought next gen was because I'm in the world. This, from just the controller, gives me that feeling of immersion, of true immersion, and the games.
You may be able to merge the two, bro. Get the PlayStation 5 controller with the VR.
PSVR 2 is happening, man. I'm guessing they're going to have haptic feedback on their controls, and it's going to be incredible. But yeah, man, the controller is seriously this is the next gen, the controller, and I can't stress it enough how comfortable it is. That being said, of my praise for the controller, this is an Xbox One controller I'm holding for those audio listeners. I still prefer that it's thumbstick positioning. I still prefer, but
Keep
PlayStation,
the thumbs
man,
away from each other where they never touch butts.
Yeah, I have a tendency, and this controller is thankfully is bigger, but I do not have small hands, so like the PlayStation 3 especially, and the PS4, I've had issues where like not only were my thumbs touching, but cramps. Like I would get a hand cramp from like using it.
I mean, I feel like that's that Japanese centric design philosophy from
It may be, but
PlayStation.
it may be,
They're
but
like,
yeah,
oh, we don't care about anybody but Japan.
the PS4 controller, man,
Yeah.
it's a fucking banger, bar none, banger. So
I
of the
got my
games,
thumb stuck between two of those thumbs on I think it was like a PlayStation 4 controller, where like my thumb like slid and like
Yeah.
it like angled between the two, and my
Yeah.
shit got stuck in the middle of like a game, and
That's
like I had to like
hilarious.
unslide it, and I was like, this is fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, and actually, let me
Like
grab a
a
PS4
finger
controller.
trap, bro.
Okay, for comparison, this is the PS4 controller. The PS5 controller is definitely bigger.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because, so as you can see, like PS4,
Yeah.
my thumbs are touching. Like
Yeah,
obviously
like
I'm
if you
playing it with the
imagine your
tips.
thum slipping forward and being
Yeah.
stuck with your
Yeah.
fingernail from
The
like the grip.
the PS4 added like grooves Like so it's better. It doesn't really happen. The PS3 it like bubbled out. So like if your hands
Yeah.
are sweaty, your thumbs are sliding. The PS4 I rarely had the problem, especially because I learned to try to use the tips of my thumbs. But yeah, PS5 controller, no issue, no issue. Of
Like,
the
can we
games
get
I
that
got,
PS3 controller on the mic, bro? Can we get some ASMR? Because that
of
thing
the
has some
PS3.
clicking.
Oh, the
I'll get the
PS4.
PS3. Yeah.
This is the PS4 controller. Yeah, no, because I'm touching it.
Get it on the mic. Get it on the mic. Do it.
For the ASMR.
Yeah. You had it for a little bit and then stopped.
I think it's. I don't think it's
It picks
activating it
up when
enough.
you're talking,
Yeah,
but not when you're not. That's what that noise is. Nothing
yeah.
from the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, it's great. Um, the other thing with the PS5 is like the D-pad. It's basically the same D-pad that Sony's ever had.
It's a D-pad.
Yeah, there's a huge sect of fans. I actually prefer the
How
Xbox
do you feel
Series
about
D-pad,
the
which I don't have an
these
Xbox Series
how
controller
do you
next
feel
to me.
about those assholes who just make like a rubber circle where you like all you do is like touch or it's a touchpad instead of a D-pad?
Hate it, hate it.
Yeah.
I'm come from a long line of fighting games, man.
You need that
You need to
tactile
have a real, you need
feedback.
to have a real D-pad. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Xbox Series X. I think that controller. I loved that D-pad, and I need to get one.
I would almost be in favor for like those weird touch pads for the thumbsticks.
So like a Steam controller.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah,
like a Steam controller.
got it. Oh man, yeah, dude. So yeah, of the games that I bought, Returnal is a roguelike, and as I've said before, I love roguelikes, and it is shot up to it's probably going to be my favorite roguelike by the time I get a run done. But the
Does it feel next gen? Do any of
yes,
the games you have all? Because I've heard like huge about like Ratchet and Clank, where they're like, this is next gen.
Ratchet and Clank is 100% next gen, and at this moment in time, I would say it's the killer app for the PlayStation 5. If you own a PlayStation 5 and you do not have Ratchet and Clank, you're doing yourself a disservice.
You
Even
Ratchet.
if you don't like platformers, it's that good.
Yeah, it's
Returnal,
worth it to showcase to when people come
Returnal
over.
is also next gen. I will say that if you're not used to roguelikes, it's probably too hard for you. If you're, it's
It's not for everyone. It's
it's
not rated E
very
for everyone, dude.
it is 100% very well made, and it is addicting as hell. It uses the haptic controller, like the haptic feedback. It uses the adaptive triggers wonderfully. There's also like PlayStation has been doing a built-in mic for some time now in the controllers and a built-in like speaker. And to play PS4, they had a really good use of the built-in speaker, but so far with the PS5, every game that uses it has used it great. Like when I'm reloading like in Returnal, you're shooting your gun, and your gun will start to overheat, and you can have a Gears of War system to like you get a bar, if you hit it just right, you overload your gun, so it's more powerful, and you get it like a different level for it. There's like a little audio cue that comes out of your controller when you do it successfully. It's so satisfying. That combined with like the adaptive triggers, like you get this nice little rumble. It's like I said,
Up a whammy.
the true next gen right now is the feel, and we're
Yeah.
here, and it's incredible. Miles Morales is it's definitely like it's the best showcase of the SSD. I feel it doesn't really use the haptic feedback or the controllers that much,
Yeah.
but it's
It felt like
definitely
kind
the
of like
best.
a last minute port almost from
Yeah,
last gen to this gen.
it's
It's like
definitely a launch
it was
title.
it was a hover. It was hovering on the borders between two worlds.
Yeah,
It is to PlayStation what Cyberpunk was supposed to be for like Xbox, to like show like the jump. Instead, Cyberpunk
yeah,
shit the bed and died. Like they had to like pull it from like all the last gen consoles. They're like, no,
yes,
it'll be on both. It'll be fine. This will be okay.
yep,
Whereas nobody talks about the game like when it comes out and it works. Like
yeah,
Spider-Man,
right,
we're like, yeah, it's fine.
yeah,
It's
yeah. No,
the biggest
Spider-Man's
knock
really
against it.
the biggest knock against it is just it doesn't utilize a lot of the next gen features, right? But
Yep,
like
yep.
it's like a thing that's going to be happening in a lot of these games is you can choose if you want visual fidelity or FPS. Spider-Man has it where
Like
you can
people have been
choose
doing on
on
PC for
PC.
years.
Yep. So
The
Spider-Man has
master
it
race.
where you can play 60 FPS or you could play 30 FPS with full 4K HDR and ray tracing. I chose ray tracing, and
All right. How do you feel, man?
swinging through New York
Making your way downtown.
at dawn or at sunset
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
is the most beautiful thing. Like it's with full ray tracing, all of that, dude. It's hard to put into words. And even
Are
when
you
you
using
look
the
at,
camera mode on that game? Like you taking selfies of yourself?
not yet. I did that a lot in 4, but not yet. I've just been enjoying the story. I've been enjoying um, how Insomniac's version of Miles Morales is. There's some story beats with, if you're familiar with like Into the Spider Verse, the Prowler is Miles's uncle, and
Spoilers, bro.
it's out there. It's been out there, but there's some really cool things that they're doing with that, and they're taking an old Spider-Man villain and kind of modernizing it, which I won't spoil, but it's pretty obvious in game. But I'm enjoying that characterization as well. Insomniac has nailed what a Spider-Man game should be, and whenever they're done working on Spider-Man games, it's going to be a sad day because I doubt we'll get to this level of quality. But yeah,
I
man,
feel like Spider-Man games have been fucking killing it since the PlayStation 1, bro. Like the open world, the combat, like
they,
they've
yeah,
always had like a ridiculously good tie-in to the lore and story of Spider-Man as well. They
yep.
usually just stick to like the main beats that like kind of everybody knows. They don't go into like, but they'll have like little Easter eggs of like deeper
Yeah.
stuff
No, no.
for the
This
fans.
this one, these two games from Insomniac, definitely deep cuts, and I love it. But
Yeah.
uh, actually, that's a good pod episode of like the past Spider-Man games or whatever, like the evolution. But yeah, man, I will say the PS5, I am super happy with my purchase. Um, the setup was much like yours, but I already had like a PlayStation account, so transferring everything was pretty easy. I had to like log into an app as well or a website. You could just log into the website and then just say, "Hey, I'm on a PS5 now," and it transfers your data, which is pretty cool. I had some PS4 uh, data
Is
on the
there
hard
anything
drive.
on PlayStation Now? Do you have that?
I don't use now because I don't like game streaming. Like,
For
and my
they
my
download the
internet
games to the
isn't
hard
great.
drive. So if you have like a PlayStation 4 or 5, it actually downloads the game to the console. It
No.
only streams it if you're on PC,
Oh, okay.
and it only streams in 720p.
Oh,
Because like I
ouch.
have the
Okay.
PlayStation Now, and I was like, this definitely isn't where it needs to be, but I'm supporting the idea of video game streaming,
Gotcha.
which is kind of stupid. It's like a dumb
No,
way to blow money. It's
when
kind of like when
internet
you,
when internet gets better, streaming
dude. I also fucking
will be viable.
joined some Patrons too, dude. Like, so I've been supporting the arts.
Yeah. Hey. So it runs PS4 games natively. So I've been playing. I still play Virtua Fighter 5. It was July's PlayStation Plus game of the month, or June's, and but I bought it. It's Virtua Fighter 5, some of my favorite games of all time. So I've been playing that still on the PS5, and it looks great, runs great, but it always did. Um, I was gonna do a playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn, which I own, so I'll have a chance to put a disc in and see how that performs, which I assume will perform great. Um, yeah, man, no complaints. The
I say just
UI
give that
is better.
PlayStation Now a second chance. You might
Yeah,
have to give it a look, give it a little gander.
I might. I have a free trial of it just
That's what
sitting
I'm
there.
saying,
So
bro. You're wasting it, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Think of all the games just sitting on the internet,
I think
just
Xbox with
waiting.
their Game Pass, I think that's really Microsoft's ace in the hole, and that's how they're phrasing it too.
Yeah, I would say like me personally, I don't feel like there's any comparison between like the Xbox
No.
Series X and PlayStation 5 at this point. I think the Xbox Microsoft has gone all in on their Game Pass,
Yes.
and PlayStation 5 is focused more on making next gen disc-based games that are going to be incredible. That's my opinion. I don't know like how things will shake out, but like it seems like that's where they put their bets. Where Xbox has been buying up studios
Hmm.
specifically for their streaming platform, and PlayStation 5 has been like partnering with like Unreal to like get the best game quality streaming off the hard drive. for like next gen assets, like the 4K textures, like all that. Uh,
I will say this: the only reason they showed the Unreal Engine with PlayStation is because they got permission. The Series X, Microsoft kept that under lock and key, and that's why the Unreal Plus presentation happened on the PlayStation and not
yeah, I
the
mean
Series X.
they show it
So there's
running
no
now. Like
true
people,
partnership. There was just it was just a permission thing.
yeah, and like people have ported over like those demos onto the
Hmm.
Xbox Series X, and they run fine.
Yeah,
Like I've noticed like some slight texture popping, but like that's my keen eye observing things like in those demos. Nothing that was like game breaking. It's not like a Gears of War level of pop in and out of textures.
yeah.
So
I
yeah, I mean
think
like it'll be fine.
I think where Xbox will feel next gen, especially for someone like me who loves audio, is in the audio department since they have that exclusivity with Dolby Atmos. You played Gears 5, right? But
Yeah.
you don't have an Atmos sound system, but
No, man, I'm using the
that game
TV.
supports it. Dude, your next purchase, and I hope it's soon. I might get mad and just drop off like a sound system for you, because
I've been
well,
looking, dude. I got like a gift card for Target, like, and I'm like,
okay,
maybe I should buy something. But I've
okay,
been looking at headsets.
yeah, yeah,
Is that the
yeah.
same? Like, if I get like a good surround sound headset?
It's it's not, but it's gonna be an upgrade over your tin speakers. And you live in a condo too, so maybe like
Yeah.
the full surround something isn't viable for your neighbors. But yeah, like the headset will probably work out for you. But I will
I mean,
say, like,
I live by myself too, and like that's
yeah,
where I'm like,
yeah,
I don't need to project out for a bunch of people. I'm not
yeah,
putting
yeah. But
illegal reproductions of movies and
playing
events
Gears
on.
5 with full Atmos was an experience, dude. It was an experience. So I think that Xbox's next gen will be the Atmos implementation, because I will say even Atmos is one of those things where I have a 5.1 setup in my living room. I don't have room for a 7.1 setup. Well, if I did do a 7.1 setup, my kids would just knock over the where the side speakers are for sure. So I use a 5.1 setup and with Atmos, and my kids I showed Jurassic Park 2 the other day, which
It's terrifying.
I had it simulate the Atmos simulate what it is because it doesn't support it truly, but it has
Yeah.
Dolby and everything else. So there's a point in that movie where there's like a small stampede where the T-Rex is kind of like carting some of the dinosaurs in to chase it to get a meal, and the main characters in the movie are running away from these dinosaurs that are kind of like akin to antelope, and then they hide underneath this fallen tree branch, and the dinosaurs are jumping over them.
Hasn't that happened in every Jurassic Park movie?
Yeah, they take a lot of Spielberg stuff, but anyway, so it's as the dinosaurs are
Homage.
jumping over them, you could hear it. You could hear it above you, right? And my
Yeah.
kids were freaking out. My kids are 2 and 4, and they were freaking out. And my daughter realized that the sound was coming from the speaker. She's like, we have to stop the dinosaurs." So she's climbing up on the couch, trying to grab the speaker to throw it on the ground. I'm like, "What are you doing?" So I'm like grabbing her, and it's just that level of immersion on a
It's little
simulated portion for my
it's
kids.
like fucking Zoolander. The
Dude,
files
yeah.
are in the PC and they're like smashing open the PC.
Exactly. So
Like,
so we said it before when we were thinking about next gen about how it's not graphics, it's like it's everything else, right?
I would say nobody's really pursuing the next gen graphic. Like all the big studios are like more focused on porting their same game over again,
Mhm.
and like
Re-
adding the
Returnal and Ratchet are next gen as fuck looking, dude.
yeah.
Like, but yeah,
Yeah, but I'm saying like a lot of like the bigger vampire studios are like just like how can we get another ounce of blood out of this old ass IP? And they're like,
yeah,
we can take the game we ported to PC and now port it back to like
exactly, yeah,
the next gen. And like all people have to do is toggle on the options. It's brilliant for
yeah,
printing money.
yeah. Oh man, so like I said, PS5 definite worth the purchase. And to kind of wrap up because we're at that point. I will
It's
say,
that time again.
um, don't buy from a scalper. Like like
What?
for my experience of it. No, listen, because
All right.
really they're hard to get, right? Like you had a hell of a
Yeah.
time getting your Xbox. I had a hell of a time getting the PS5. I got it. I got some games. I'm having a good time, and it's definitely next gen feeling. But if I would have purchased this from a scalper, it would not feel as good. You know,
That's a personal opinion, bro. This is
really.
yeah. I would say like I would say don't purchase not because of feeling, but because there's very little on there that makes it like worth the up price. Like you're better off just saving your money and wait until you can till the next gen games get released in like December,
Yeah.
till there's more options to like really show off. Like there's still plenty of great games like on PlayStation 4,
Yep.
Xbox One.
Yep.
And I would also say like a lot of the battles are taking place on the passes. So like if you want to dabble, I would say like get like a PlayStation Pass on your PS4 where you can download the games to it and try out like a variety of different games, like or like the Xbox Pass where you can play a bunch of these games like uh, now like on your PC. So yeah, I would say like there's plenty of stuff to tie you over, and like the pass is probably the way to go, rather than like finding a scalper. I would say like it's you're fine. Like there's nothing in there where you're like, oh fuck, all my friends are playing this because like the best games are pretty much like single player with like
Single
Ratchet
player.
and
Yeah.
Clank. Yeah,
There's no next gen multiplayer game
yeah,
on
where you're
either
like, oh, I need
console.
this to play with my buddies. Like you're fine. You're
Yeah.
fine. You're not missing out. Like almost everybody's in the same boat. Like uh, there's a few different accounts like on Twitter you can follow to like try and wait till like they show up in your store and like it's pretty regular. It's like once every couple weeks, like something's
Like
popping off,
it's
and
like once a week, really, once or twice,
yeah,
really. Um, I will say, uh, uh, waking up early. We're Midwest West time. Like I got mine. It dropped at 5 a.m. is when this happened. So wake up early if you really want it. Follow. I follow two Twitter accounts that I'll just link on the bottom. Uh, to what it is. The PS5 stock alerts will show you Xbox Series and PS5 and both disc and not, and it has that Twitter account has little tips on how to make sure you purchase it. So that's probably the best one I've found. Uh, yeah, so next
yeah,
gen's here, baby. We both
yeah.
got examples of it.
And I
I'm
would say instead of like worried about feel, for me, I'd be more worried about your safety. Uh, a lot of these things, like you got to do cash. They're like, oh, bring $1,000 to some random place in cash. Like, there's been a lot of people getting robbed. I would be more worried about that. It's like tough economical times for a lot of people, and like people out here doing drastic shit. So watch your neck. You know,
all right. And on that
because
note, go
I
ahead.
was gonna buy like a OG Xbox from somebody, and I was like trying to get the professor to go with me. I was like, "Bro, can you show up? Bring your gun so we can go meet some random dude in a fucking Dick's parking lot for like this Xbox Pro Series." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing all that, bro."
Get it. I get it. Oh man. So on that note of Chip ready to commit murder for an Xbox, thanks everybody for sticking with us.
Defend yourself.
Season two is full bore now, boys. We're
We're
here.
out. We're on everything now. We got the
We are on.
iTunes.
Yes,
We're
sir.
doing
Yes,
big
sir.
numbers. We're doing huge numbers everywhere.
Yeah,
Follow
yeah.
us,
We got
subscribe,
like
tell.
3, 4. No.
Hey
Stop
man,
it.
you got to start somewhere, bro.
Yes,
Rome
sir.
wasn't
Yes,
built
sir.
in a day.
True.
Uh,
True.
we're building the
So
foundation.
we are. We are. So like, share, subscribe, hit that bell. What's the other one? You said Ninja Star last time, really?
Ninja Star,
Whatever.
shuriken us.
Right, for
Hit us
sure.
with like birds, pigeons.
All
Send out
right.
the homing pigeons,
All right,
messenger birds.
and definitely subscribe, you bitches. All right, take care, Chip.
Take
Everybody,
care, man.
Mr. Gimpy, we out.
Bye.